What's up, guys? So we're back here in my house. Yes, it's still the lockdown, but you know what? I am so happy because my iPad Pro finally arrived this week. Yay! I will edit some of my favorite photos from this year and some from last year's. Of course, using the Adobe Lightroom Mobile. I've heard so many good reviews about it. And I'm just so excited, guys, to give you a glimpse of how I edit my photos. Let's do it. You know, for the past months, I've been so inspired by Korean movies and series that I've been watching. I like the aesthetic they have that's very soft and it has this very pinkish touch. So I will try to apply those in the photos today. So we're editing a beauty shot of Sab, my bride. And as you can see, she has a very healthy looking skin. So I want to highlight her glassy complexion and make some color corrections along the way without altering the makeup, or else magagalit sa akin si Jelly Eugenio and just highlight her beauty all the more. As you can see, the image is actually properly exposed already. I find it very important to get your exposure right on camera because it will lessen our post-production time. The first thing I do when I edit a picture is I adjust the tone curves. What I like about tone curves is it gives you more control when you're editing the brightness and the exposure of your image. The bottom left of the tone curve represents the shadows, the middle is the midtones, and the top right is the highlights. I am playing with the highlights and midtones a lot, making it look more dewy by brightening it up a little bit without taking out the details of her makeup and of her skin. This is where we adjust the hues, and when you adjust the hue, it can let you replace a color with a different hue or a different tone. This is also where I usually turn off or desaturate some colors that I don't want in the image. The orange color is usually very tricky, so be careful in adjusting this color as it greatly affects your skin tone. So you can adjust the brightness of the color by adjusting the luminance, so mas puputi yung subject. So with the reds naman, it usually affects the lip color. Make sure that you stay true to the lipstick color and just make it look richer if needed. You can also play with the strength or the intensity of a particular color by adjusting the saturation. I want to target the colors of the midtones and the highlights of Sab. I'm adding a tinge of orange on the midtones, but I will be very careful so as not to overdo it. If you adjust the blending option, the color that you will add will appear more subtle. I use the video light that's very warm on her hair. I'd like to maintain that by adding a bit of yellowish highlight on her overall photo. So while contrast affects the highlights and the shadows, clarity affects the midtones and the local regions of the image. I like adjusting the clarity of my images because it softens the skin. So as for the cleanup, she doesn't really have a lot of blemishes. I just took out some hair on her face. So if you're learning a lot, please don't forget to like and subscribe. So there you have it. Moving on to the next photo, this is a picture of Joanna and her entourage. For this image, I already have an idea of what I want to do. I want this picture to be pinkish in tone and I want it to look very dreamy. I want the image to look darker than the original and kind of mattified. So I'm bringing almost everything down, from the contrast to the highlights to the shadows, the blacks and the whites. I will be focusing more on the grading. I will be playing with the midtones. Let us add a little bit of orange tinge, but I will make sure that it will blend well so that it's subtle. Since I want the image to be very pinkish, I'm adding a tinge of bright red on the shadows. Alright, so it's looking good the way I want it to be. But to finish it off, let me add some green tone on the highlights to give the picture a bit of like a film-ish look. I'm going back to the hues and adjust the green so that the bouquets will have a darker green color. And for that dreamy look, I will lessen the clarity. I kind of want to brighten the flowers a bit to highlight that part. And I'm creating a selective mask to adjust the brightness of this particular area. This is a shot that I took of Ariel and Ron, so they're getting married soon. And I shot this image after it rained so hard. The sky was still a bit gray, and let me attempt to add a bit of sunshine. Since I shot this in RAW, I want all the details back, so I'm bringing down everything, down the highlights, the whites, the shadows. I will increase the blacks and the brightness a bit. I want to adjust the color temperature. Since it's kind of bluish, I'm gonna slide it up a bit to the amber side since we're going for a sunset look. From a greenish tint, I will adjust it a bit to magenta since I want the overall image to look pinkish. I want to increase the vibrance. Why not saturation? With saturation, you are altering the strength of all the colors in the image. As opposed to the vibrance, you are just adding a bit of intensity on the saturated regions of the image. We will change the tonal range of the colors. So starting off with the greens, I wanted the shade to be darker, but I will compensate it a bit, so I will adjust the luminance. So for the yellows, I'm going to go warmer and brighter as well. The first step to color grading is to decide which tones of the image you want to target. I'm adding like a pinkish tone on the shadows and some peachy tones on the midtones. Let's go back to white balance and tint to adjust it again. And I do this a lot. I go back and forth just to check if there's still a need to adjust it. Alright, we're good. So to finish the set, I will fine-tune the light by using the tone curve. There are no hard and fast rules on what you should do. Experiment what you think would work on your image. Hi! Natapos din! I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you find this very useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and of course hit the notification bell. So see you again guys next time. Don't forget to always trust the process and keep on shooting. Bye guys!